What's up, my dudes? Off the screen here. We're going to get through some of these down and get to where I can get to them. Get to where you guys can see me. Rip. I just pulled a Linus and dropped a few of them. At least they're still in the box. Yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully that woke you up if you couldn't hear me. Rip. Let's get this set up. So we'll get some people in here. We're going to do a build tonight real quick. We may get in it even testing. It's been a minute since we've done a build with you guys. Hopefully you guys seen that. Oh boy, what you got there. So we got 7 of the AMD Radeon 6700 XTs. These are the Mech 2x editions. They're not too bad. About 43, 44 mega hash, if I recall correctly. Consistent. You know, most of the RDNA tech is pretty consistent. We've had these for a few months, actually. They've been in a box, and we just haven't got to the point of deploying them. Just a lot going on. We ordered a lot of stuff, like a lot of folks, and we were waiting for stuff to come in, and finally stuff started rolling in. I believe our price point on these ones were $8.99. I'm reading through some of your guys' comment here. Turn it on, BitsBeTrippin. I need the overclocks. I hear you. So these things are pretty decent. 1075 on the memory. I want to say you can go 1050, 1100 on the core if you're doing Ethereum. But we'll see if we can get some more out of them tonight. The build setup we have here, so that way you guys can help me help everybody else. We're using the Rosewell Case. And the Rosewell Case has in it right now a 1200 watt P2 and a 1000 watt P2. Way, way, way more power than we need. But we can use the 1000 watt PSU for the 6 pins because we have several of these. I'm going to have to get myself a screwdriver because I don't think I brought one over. I gotta get a screwdriver. I gotta flip this power supply around. I had BBT Radeon in this, and you put the power supply in backwards. You don't want to have the power supply facing downward. We want to have it facing upward on this machine. We did have to order. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this built. We may do some testing briefly. I don't have the Delta fans for this. I was actually saving this until I had the Delta fans, but I figured why not just go live. And we'll do this build tonight. We'll flip it up so where you guys can see. I don't have the secondary camera set up right now for you guys can see it, but we'll flip it up to where you guys can see it. We are kind of changing some of the camera gear stuff that we have. So we run the Sony AXI for the main camera, which is the one you guys are seeing right now, me on. And, you know, the lighting's off in here. Let me check this. It was way dark. All right, much better. Now, there you go. Now you guys can see me. The floating camera that we're going to have is I'm looking at having a new camera mounted right above me because I want to be able to flip a switch and then you guys can see down. I know Red Fox Crypto's in here, and I know he has a top view camera, and I like that. I like that top view camera. It's good. I want to make sure it's a high quality camera because I want to be able to zoom in and not lose clarity. So we're probably going to get an AX, probably 53 Sony for that. Something that I can remote control to be able to do the zoom in and give you guys more of a top-down clarity. Because we're going to be doing more of these. And not only that, tomorrow afternoon I am meeting somebody for a new warehouse here local. So we're going to have a new space that we're going to be doing a lot of our builds in. So we'll still have the studio here, but we're also going to have another location where we can do some of the bigger builds with you guys as we start to build out the A5000s and 4000s for our facility. So we are going to break out a whole bunch of different rig builds when it comes to the A4000s and 5000s. In prep for immersion with that. So we're going to be doing immersion with that, and then we'll do immersion with the S19s that we're doing. So we're going to try to get out of air cooling completely at our farm and just move to immersion. And I got to flip this big boy around here. So this is going to be fun. Let me get some space here for us because I got stuff all over here. Set these bad boys. And make some room. Let's set this over here. You guys can see that. Get rid of all the SATA connections. So we had a few of these Rosewell cases deployed in the farm. And then we bought like, I want to say 10 or 12 of them. And we never deployed them. Like we built a handful of them. We had some Radeon 7 rigs in these, and we had them with the 140 mil Delta fans, which is you can put 6 Delta fans in here in a intake out and then exhaust config, and each one of those fans push 308 CFM. So you're talking some serious airflow through one of these things. Part of the problem with pushing that much airflow is if you don't have a real good filtration system, you're just going to dust your cards in a matter of a week. Like it's pretty crazy. So you got to really consider where you're putting your rigs and then how much potential dust are you going to be putting on them, especially if you're moving that kind of airflow over cards. And the Radeon 7s, anybody that ever picks up a Radeon 7, the one thing you'll know is no matter how much you reconfigure a Radeon 7 for heat, they're just naturally hot. Like you can have the best pads. You can have, we've done Arctic Silver. We've tried Thermal Knot on the cores. We want to try indium. So I have indium sheets. If you guys don't know what indium is, let me go grab it real quick. So let that rest. Do that. There we go. So indium. Here, let's try it this way. See if you guys can hear me. Can you guys still? Yeah, you guys can hear me fine. So indium. See if this focuses on this. Maybe it doesn't want to focus on it. So this is an indium sheet, and these things are about. I want to say at the time when we got these, they were about $25 a sheet. I think they're a little cheaper now, but this is what you can slap down on a core and have like a really solid heat transfer. We've seen huge decreases in core temps when we do these with our RX 470 cards. We dropped the core down to 46C full tilt with Ravencoin, running 110C on that. So it's, we got feedback? It's, yeah. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. sorry guys, I was hearing and it was throwing me off. The indium sheets though on modern GPUs we haven't really tried that much. I've done a lot of testing with the RX 470s, the RX 480s, the 580s, and the 570s all can really benefit from this. I have not tested them with anything like a 6700 or a 6800 XT, and I really want to do some testing with this. So I wanted to find some time, and we're going to do these. These are, if you guys look up indium, it's INDIUM, I believe is the number on, or the name on them. You guys can see the thermal transfer on those things. It's really, really good. And I know Linus Tech Tips actually covered indium on that on one of his videos of showing the thermal transfer and ability. Now, the other thing that you got to look after is like any time on coverage. So if your heat, your copper heat sink doesn't make a good connection, or this is pretty thin, right? So your thermal paste, sometimes you don't get a good spread of your thermal paste. It's also with this, like we've had some GPUs on the RX 470s, like if the screws are just off a little and that doesn't make a good, good surface connection, you end up running into a little issue with that. But this is just a direct replacement with that. I would like to test this on like the Radeon 7 and see if we can get those core temperatures down. Another thing on something like a Radeon 7 and some of these other cards that have high VRM temps is really coming down to thermal pads, and can you get that thermal transfer off of those, those elements there. So again, we're doing some good testing coming up. We got a caliper ordered. We got tons of thermal pads, a whole range of thermal pads. We're going to have an entire walkthrough series using a live stream with you guys on going through thermals with different GPUs, like a lot of iterative testing with that. I want some of those to be some longer live streams with you guys, because we're going to do the testing anyways. And I think going through that and having, all the steps of us going through sizing thermal pads, a full cradle to grave. I haven't seen, a multi GPU kind of approach to that. I've seen people do like one GPU and very, very good cut videos. I know Mining Chamber and a few other ones have done really good videos on that. But really since we have a spread of GPUs, we have, I think our count now is up to 108 different types of GPUs we have here at the BB2 studio. So pretty much the full gamut range of what retail GPUs all the way up to the current stuff. And even some of the newer mining, the BC160s, we're getting some CXP cards coming in. We're going to have the full gamut range to give you guys a comprehensive data point if you got to go and attack it and what material to attack it with. So selfishly, we have some of that material that as we find the right combination that makes sense for certain GPUs, we're going to try to carry some of that stuff from a vendor standpoint in crypto worlds. So we have one crypto world out in St. Charles, Missouri. If you guys have seen that, it's a retail location. It's got retail stuff. You can walk into the store, buy stuff, buy some mining hardware and components. We are looking to, as we find and do those testing, we're going to have that content available for you guys at the store. And yes, we are working on the website. And yes, there are some parts that have been put up there that have been pretty high. It's me sourcing it, and then it's our partners over there sourcing things too. So if they're buying things from, MA Labs or somebody, and they're doing a markup at a retail location, we're trying to work through that to be able to cut some of that margin down to get you guys good prices. But again, you might see some things out there that are kind of expensive. And you guys can make the choice of not buying that. I always say do your due diligence, make sure you're getting the right value for stuff. And in a semi-bear market right now, where we've been running flat for a while, there's some good deals out there. You can find some good different deals on GPUs. I know these 6700s now are they're on Newegg, available for $899. That's a no shill link. I don't have any affiliation with Newegg. Just where to get GPUs. Don't pay $1,100 for these things right now. They're $899. You can find them for if you're looking for the 6700s right now. I think the original MSRP retail price on these things were supposed to be $699, if I recall correctly. But you know, we all know what happened to retail pricing. But yeah, I'm going to open up some of these bad boys after I fix this. What do we got? I was taking out the power supply here. So let me see if I can get this moved over for you guys can see inside of here, since I don't have a top-down camera yet. Let's see here. Let's get. So I just unplugged that so you guys can see. So we got the one set up correctly, and then I'm flipping over this one because right now it does have a bottom vent here, but the problem is on these cases they don't have a really good like these little tabs only are like an 1/8 of an inch, and it ends up overheating the power supply if you're setting it on a shelf. So you want to flip them around and have the ventilation up. Not $69, $499 on the 6700s. That's the 3080, the base 3080. I think was that actually $700? I want to say they were $800. I thought they were $799 for the 3080 or the original MSRP. $690, $490. I don't think these were $499, right? The $499. Maybe you're right, man. It's been so long since we've seen prices like that. But I remember I had picked up the NVIDIA For the Win 3 edition 3080 I had bought for $899. And I thought that was retail. That was original retail of December. Or no, that was November. November we bought that. $899 for the 3080. For the Win 3 edition. So we're not talking retail reference edition, because there's a big distinction between that. But I do remember, if you guys watched some of the videos where I was camping out for 3 days in front of Micro Center for the 6900 XT, I did buy that for $1,000. So $999 for the 6900 XT. So I thought these were cheaper than that. I mean, I thought these were $799, not $499. Well, so it's hard to find real pricing, a real original MSRP pricing. Like AMD and everybody has scrubbed that. It's a false fake news. Trying to look for any of that. I don't know why I'm opening that yet. I got to flip this power supply around. Let me get this around here. Oh, we got to get these plugged in. So we're going to flip this around. I'm probably going to have to unplug all these wires. Doing a giveaway on this. This is about a $7,000 machine, guys. See, the difference is people ask, like, I used to do some giveaways. I haven't done a giveaway in a long time. There is a chance that we'll do a giveaway. Again, that comes out of our pocket directly. We don't get free stuff. So the difference between us and a lot of other channels is we're not getting sent free stuff. We buy everything. That iPolo device that I did a test on, well, I take that back. Vosk Coin did send me a Vosk Coin miner. The review we did on that, I don't think we ever paid him for that. But and that was just like another creator sending me a device. We buy everything. So like we've reached out to about getting some free BC160s. I paid for them. So we pay for all that stuff. I mean, if we were, there might be a chance that if we do a review on something that we haven't paid for, if I agree to do that and I'm not buying it, I'm going to give it away. So we won't keep the device. That might happen actually we're working with a company right now called Fog Hashing. They build like single enclosure immersion for like a single S19. So it's essentially it's a little bigger than this, a little taller, and then it has a dry cooler connected right next to it. If you look up fog hashing, you'll find the site. And they make a closed cast system, 1 unit, that you can put one S19 in for your house. So the idea is that you get a 30 amp 208 set up somewhere, you plug the whole thing in, it feeds power to the S19, you pull all the fans off of it, and you have this like very quiet miner, you know, that's an S19 that you can now overclock. And an S19 104, pretty relatively, you can get 10 to 20% overclock on that. So you can actually run that 104 all the way up to about 127 terahash. You're going to use more power. You're going to be pushing that power supply closer to 4,000 watts, but you could overclock it with the immersion. So you have this like closed cast system. They were looking at working a thing with us where we would do a review on it. We met them out at CES, and I said I would buy it, but if they ended up, they were, you know, really pushing to give it to us. If they gave us that, I would see if we could work with like Bitmain and then do a full giveaway on that. So it'd be like an S19 that's immersed, and then do a giveaway on that. That's what I would like to do. That's what I'm trying to push for, that if we give something away, it'd be like an S19 with an immersion kit. So, because I think that would be a pretty solid giveaway. It's like $15,000. But again, when you're giving away more than like 10 grand, it gets real sketch. So like we got to work through that. That's what BBT Samantha's for, is to help me organize something like that. In addition, we're doing a lot of local stuff here in St. Louis. So we're going to do a setup to where you guys can come out and see us at our offices, and we're going to do like a little mini conference here in St. Louis at our downtown location in downtown St. Louis. So if we do that, working with a couple vendors to maybe do giveaways at that event. But you know, our giveaways are going to be a little different than most others, just because the way we're kind of structured. And I don't mind giving away things. I mean, I like making sure people have an opportunity to get something free. I think that's kind of cool. But I've never really kind of ran for, you know, this. We're always an organic channel. Like I don't pay for any kind of you know, advertisements. I mean, people see the content that we put out and are wondering like, why the hell are you guys not like 100,000 subscribers and all this? And it's like, it's, you know, we're not, we're just observe and report, man. I'm like the old guy on the scene. Nobody, we're not the hip people. Like Red Fox, and I saw Red Fox Crypto, Red Panda. All you guys are the hip ones, man. I'm just the old dog in this space. I'm plugging back in the 1200 watt power supply now that I got it flipped around right. And then we're gonna get this baby hooked up here. Show you guys the setup here. So again, we're running 1200 watt primary power supply hooked to the motherboard. It's a 1200 watt P2. It's this guy right here. So EVGA 1200 watt P2. And this will power all of the 12 pin, or sorry, the 8 pin. I think this is a single 8 pin. Let me look here. If this is a double, I'm gonna have to do something here. I don't remember what these ones were. Oh, these are dual 8s, I think. We do have some expanders. Hopefully we have enough. I think we do. The OG. You guys are the hip ones, not me. I'm the old guy. Look what we're talking here. We are. Yeah, dual 8s up top. Okay. Now, typically I plan to build out, and we were going to put this in a different case, but I was worried that I couldn't get 7 of them in there. And then the gray matters that we have only holds 6. So we're not going to do that. Oh, look at Red Fox Crypto says, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. My dude, my man. You know what? I get a lot of emails from people that get kind of lost on the internet, and they'll find one of my videos, and they'll watch. I mean, they'll look at it and go, "What the hell, dude? Like 4-hour video? What the shit?" And they'll see a lot of your guys' videos, and you guys do like nice condensed, 15-minute videos, very information packed, very information dense, which is good. I've always kind of liked doing the live. I felt very comfortable with the live streaming and live content. My brain kind of workflows as I'm going through stuff, and I can usually articulate on the fly pretty good to explain a point. So it's kind of what I was trained to do back in the day, is to give presentations to very large audiences. And that's not that big of a requirement these days. So we're going to keep this Molex connection in here because we're going to be, the one thing I'm missing for this build has not came in yet is 140 mil Delta fans that we'll put in this machine. So I'm going to leave this Molex cable for those Delta fans. And let's make sure everything else is plugged in order here. That's good. And then once I get this secured and both the power supplies in there, I'll flip this over so you guys can see inside of it. You guys can see what we're working with here. We got direct 8-pin connections. So we're going to have 4. We should have 6 that come off of this, and then we'll do a 2 splitter 8-pins. Let's see here, 6. We're going to need, I'm going to see if I have enough 8-pin splitters. I ordered quite a few of them, but I don't know how many I got left. See if we're missing anything here. That one, we are missing 1. One more connection there. And then we'll have 7 here, which we're good there. Because we're doing the risers off the 1,000 watt. So all the risers would be powered off the 1,000 watt power supply, which is a little overkill, but I don't have anything lower than the 1,000. I used to have some 850s, but those are gone. And we'll have to get the splitters. I have more of these. So these are the splitters I'm talking about. So 8-pin to dual 8s. So I can take one of these and power each of these cards. This 1200 watt is more than enough to handle these 6700s. And since it's only powering the the ancillary PCIe and the risers being powered off of the 1,000 watts, we are more than sufficient power wise here. So we're doing those on the 8 to dual 8s. So that's one card. Those 2 cards worth. Be 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can pull 1 off the 1,000, which will be 7. So the 1,000 watt will power one of the cards on the 12-pin. But I need I need a couple of the 8-pin things that we'll have to find. So we'll put this in here, and then I'll grab, because I think I got some upstairs. Maybe actually one more. Well, we have 2 more here. Never gonna have enough, man. We order so much stuff around here, and definitely use it. So there's another dually. We'll put links down to all this stuff. A lot of this stuff is Amazon stuff. Some of this stuff we get from Alibaba. They've really kind of dialed it back when it comes to some of the crypto components. I have a couple preferred vendors we use. It's pretty consistent. And then what we're trying to do is get to where all this stuff's available in the store there in St. Charles. So then you guys will be able to order it from at least the St. Louis area, and you know that it's coming from there. Connector. I was thinking one drop. These are all SATAs. There we go. This is my other one I needed here. We have four cards, 5. Technically, I could do 2 off that 1,000-watt. Thinking about it, let me look here. We got risers. There's 2. This may work out perfect without me needing any more connectors. There's 4 cards. 6. I think I need one more splitter. 6, 7. That's one other card. Yes. I need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, I actually need 2 splitters. 2 splitters, and then this build is good to go. So let me get this, and then that is, anytime you have dual 8s and you're trying to use traditional PSUs versus your like server configuration CPUs or GPU, sorry, power supplies. That's a thing. That's one of your biggest considerations is not having enough PCIe connectors for your risers and your 12 your 2 8-pin connectors for those builds. It's pretty nutty. This one in here tucked in. Both power supplies. Good to go. Gotta go. Thanks for the stream, says Red Fox Crypto. I hear you, bud. Let's get things hooked up here. Do the power supplies back in. What else you guys got going? I know some people were probably in here like, why the hell are you guys building stuff right now? You guys seen the market? We don't build based on current market, my dudes. Never have, never will. Current market doesn't mean anything. If everybody built on current market, nobody would build anything. You would have spikes of building, and then everybody would stop. You would never have, some of the best times that we've built were during bear markets. You start to get capitulation on gear because you got fair weather people that don't understand market cycles and don't look at and read the fine line of just the amount of enthusiasm and future state of what crypto is going to bring to people. All right, both power supplies are in there. We are going to rearrange all of our connections here. Again, I got to get a couple more of these splitters to extend our 8-pin capability for the dual 8-pin requirement that these GPUs have. Before people freak out like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you doing splitters? These are single 8-pin directs from the PSU, and they are just going to 2/8. Essentially the same configuration if you had a straight dual 8, which the EVGA power supplies do not provide. The Corsair power supplies do. The Thermaltake power supplies provide dual 8s. But the EVGA power supplies do an 8 and a 6. I've always done that. Very annoying. We're going to pull these over and off to the side. I'm going to get the risers here shortly. This is over. All right, my dudes. This is the config right now. So I got the dual power supplies in there. The motherboard that we're using is an H270 Prime. This is from Asus, and it's an i3 6100 with 8 gigs of memory. So that's been typically the configs that we use. We used to use Celeron 3930s, but then they went out, like you couldn't find them. So then the best next thing we could find was an i3 6100 at the time, and they were like $10 more. So it is what it is. So let me get some risers. Again, we still need the other adapters here. And of course, from this build, I need the Delta fans, so they're not here yet. But I can still get the whole thing built, and we can slide in the Delta fans for this machine. So the way these things set in here, we'll actually need to put the... I'll set the cards in here, but we're not going to do a full screw down on them because I need to put the Delta fans up here in the front, because these cards will be exhausting their heat out the front right here. And the way they set in this machine, you guys will see this here in 1 second. They will require a should hold. Nope, didn't hold. So they will require a, you know, kind of an assist to pull that air out. So to be exhausting it out this side, and then there's a fan assist on this side. So we'll be supplying fresh air from the back. These things don't really pull in enough air to kind of not require that. The blower style fan cards usually can handle it. Now I got a screw in it so it shouldn't fall over. So that's the kind of setup. So the Delta fans in this case set right here in here, this little channel right here. And they're 140 mil and they're 308 CFM. So they will be pulling the air this way out of the machine. And then we'll have some that set back here that are providing air into the machine. So all matching Delta fans, again, 308 CFM, providing plenty of air across all these cards. The cards then will be setting at about 20% on their fan speed because we are going to be pushing a lot of air across these cards. On certain card builds, like we have a couple of these cases with the RX 580, which ones were they? They were the Power Color RX 580 Devils. We would actually take the shroud off of it and the existing fans, and this box has enough airflow to where you don't even need onboard fans on the cards. You're pushing well more than enough air out of it, and it's actually cooling all the cards more efficiently. When we had the shrouds and their own fans in there, they actually were not cooling as efficiently, even though we were pushing a lot of air across them. So we found both ways. We didn't know if that would work. We just literally, and this is what I've always recommended to people, don't feel bad about trying to greenfield something. When you're doing crypto mining, especially with these different cases and these different setups, understand the situation that you have with your rig. Understand your particular situation. What's the ambient temperature? Do you have a clean environment for it? And then make customizations that fit your particular requirement. It is worth your time to do the investment in that to make your rig stable and operate and as efficient as possible. So definitely try some of those different things. Anything you see from us or somebody else is a good baseline, but your particular situation, you may have to make some effort on it and adjust it. You know, a lot of us are just doing iterative testing to see if it works, and then we come back and look at those results and share it with you guys and say, hey, here's how it worked for us. So don't be afraid to try different things. A lot of people are amazingly smart and have great ideas. And we'd love to see it. Share it with us on Twitter or Instagram or any of that. What do you about Octominer cases? I know Octominers reached out to us about taking a look at their cases. I've never purchased one. I don't know how I feel about a riser built into a board, considering the riser is usually the number one fail item. Because if I lose a riser on that board, it just puts me down. I like being able to change that component. But I've heard a lot of good success from people on them. I just don't know, having everything built in like that, if that's a super good idea. Is it bad to mix 6700s and 6800s on the same motherboard? No. I have a mixed RDNA rig upstairs right now. A couple 6900s, a 6800, a 6600, and I think I got a 65. What is this over here? Hold on one sec. We did pick up this. This is an MSI. Gotta flip it over, my dudes. 5500 XT. So this is an 8 gig 5500, and I wanted to do some testing with that. It's a single 8 pin. I want to say these things are 26 mega hash. 25. I can't remember. We'll do a test with this one with the test bench. Snugglesill says, Overpriced. Also, the risers have issues. $1,000 case. You know, I mean, so you're getting a motherboard, processor, memory, built-in risers. And I don't remember if they actually supply the power supply or not. But if they do, you know, you do the math on it. What's the most 6700 you can fit on an Asus motherboard? I struggle to go past 9. It depends on your config. So these H270s really do not like any, like there's a bifurcation issue, I think, after 8 on the H270s. The Z270 Prime ARs, we've gotten 14 on. And they work pretty good. And those are using... those are using these. So you use so this is a 1x4. So you essentially feed in or you use a slot on your board, right? And then I think I have a zoom on this. Let me see here, my dudes. Now we used to have a mode on here where I could zoom in. Let's see here. Power close up. Maybe this is it. Oh, failed. Let's see here. That's not it. Hold on, my dudes. Nope. We got rid of it. I'll have to get you you know what? No time like the presents, my dudes. Zoom. We're going to do this real quick. That way I can show you guys some cool stuff with a close-up. Add source. 4K main. Here we go. And then let's do this. I'm zooming in. This. You guys can see my messy storeroom. Here we go. There we go. How about that? So this PC Peripherals, company on Amazon that we used. So these allow you to expand, and this actually works. This device works pretty well. You power it through a 6-pin. You have a normal riser USB that plugs in there and goes to your PCIe. And then you can get, you know, essentially 3 more cards, right? Because you're using up 1 spot for this card. And so when you plug 4 cards into this, you're essentially getting 3 more. And then we've done this essentially taking a 6-card board and plugging, I think, what, 3 of these in or so to try to get it up to 14. 4 of them to try to get up to 14, which is your like Hive OS Max that you can put on, right? So Linux in general does 14, Windows does 21, and anybody that doesn't know that Windows could do 21 can go out to YouTube and see where I've done 21 cards. You guys want to see inside this now that we're zoomed in a little more? We all got messy storeroom, says Jacob. That's right, my dude. It is super messy here. So let's see if you guys can see inside this now better. So that's the setup. Let me bring this up some. There you go. So you guys can see the setup in here. So we have one, you know, the SATA / NVMe slot riser cards. This board comes with 6, and we get 7 with using one of those. And then we have the 1200 and the 1000 watt power supply in this case. what fans are going to use in this case. So I have a link to them. We will add to this thread here. They are just notice this cable. I don't like this cable. It looks like it's gotten caught or bent. Might switch this cable out. I don't like that. This cable here's got kind of a rubbing tear on it. We'll change that out. But yeah, we'll add what we got on there. So the fans that we're using are $19 a piece. 140 mil, 308 CFM, 5200 RPM. Work real well. They're like anyway, you can find them anywhere from 19 to 26 bucks a piece. These types of fan setups. Let's get the risers. So I'm gonna grab the risers real quick. We'll go back to a more zoomed out view. Let me get this pushed up so you guys can see me. Nope, main, here we go. Is that the right screen? I don't think so. That says zoom 2. Zoom is the one I want. Just moving this up, my dudes. My setup here is all balled up. I'm going to spend some time and get this thing fixed. Used to be fixed, but my problem is all right, there we go. We were tearing down everything when we go to do stuff. So if you guys follow the channel, follow the Twitter and all that, we go do a lot of stuff. Like comparable to other channels out there, like BBT, our team, we're up to 8 people. We are covering all kinds of stuff all over the world. So we went up to Vancouver and covered DMG blockchain, walked you guys through that. We went to CES this year, covered some of that for you guys. And we were tearing down a lot of our setup stuff. So like we took a lot of this stuff, we unplugged stuff, and like the wear and tear on that stuff and then the reconfig is just disastrous. So what we have done is we've made an investment and we've rebought pretty much all of our entire setup here in a mobile version for you guys, right? So people like see sometimes when people give us like super chats and stuff, like, why are you guys giving these guys super chats? They have all this equipment and stuff. Like we literally spend, like, I dare say a number because you guys are going to get sick to your stomach what we've spent on this, but you know, just south of $50,000 to rebuy all of our stream equipment and make it mobile to where when we go to these on-site places, and we're going to take you guys to a lot of stuff. We're going to take you guys down to Texas this year. We're going to see if we can get into Riot to see their setup. We're going to go up to Canada and do another walkthrough through one of Compass Mining's facilities. We're going to take you guys into a couple big GPU farms this year and talk with people. Like all this is mobile, right? We'll go down to Texas a couple times this year, California, New York. We have a follower that is a Howard Stern person that works for that, Sirius XM. They mine up there, and they've been talking about, hey, we got some stuff in the studio. They want to, have a discussion. I'm going to go up there, see if I can meet Howard Stern up there when we're up there and just talk crypto in general. Like, we're going to try to cover a lot of really cool content for you guys. So the lucky few that are watching this live stream, you guys have fallen into, a channel that's really trying to bring you guys some very interesting content when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's not just rig builds here, and I know I'm taking my time on this build. Part of it's me realizing I'm missing a few things, so I'm not going to be able to fully complete it. So I'm seeing how much I really want to actually go with this build forward, because I got to put the fans in still, and I got to get the other connectors here. So but always try to make it interesting for you guys. And then of course we'll do a full like testing with this machine. We'll do that on a live stream too for you guys, since we built it on a live stream, so we can actually do some adjustment and testing with it. I'll probably most likely do that with Simple Mining or Hive, but yeah, hopefully you guys like that kind of content. I mean, it's I like doing it, so I'm going to do it anyways, even if you guys don't like it, so whatever. But like, it's you know, I think it's pretty good. So let's see here. We guys got some comments. Do you really need that much power? Isn't one power supply enough? Yes, one power supply is enough for this build. It's right on the edge, man. Like, so these cards on a 1200 watt power supply, this whole rig should probably be around 1100 watts, and that's a little high on the 1200. So having the second power supply, you could get by with an 850 on this build and the 1200, because you'd be powering the risers, right? So if you think about this build, and this is the walkthrough that you go through, there's going to be 7 of these cards in there, right? Each card has 2 8-pins, right? So that's 14 8-pins that are required. A 1200 watt power supply has 6 connectors on it. And even if you had a dual 8s on that, that's only going to be 6 of the cards. And that's only the 12, that's only the 2 8-pins. So then all the risers need to get powered. And on the 6700 XTs, you don't want to power those on the SATA connectors. So you don't want to do those SATA connectors on that, because also the 1200 watt power supply only has 4 of the SATA connector lines, which means I would only be able to power 4 of the cards with 1 SATA connection. And when we did the power analysis on the 6700, if you guys go way back, the 6700, we covered like what's it actually put out. So one of the tools we have, which you guys have seen for a little bit, I'm looking around for it right now. Hold on a second. So this tool that you guys have seen us use before is this allows you to check let me go to my new Zoom. So this allows you to check risers and then switch over to the 12 pin. Or I keep saying 12 pin. It's 8 pins. I got 12 pins on my mind because I got a Founders Edition stupid NVIDIA card with that new connector. So this allows me to monitor the power requirement from a riser and then both of the 8 pins. And running an analysis with this tool, I can identify, can I run any of these cards on something like a SATA connection, like a single strand SATA? And the answer is no. I mean, the easiest way to say it. It's going to pull too much power. So a 6700, a 6800, those cards, you can get down to about 55 watts pulling on the riser when they're optimized and configured. But if you just turned it on and let it run and didn't configure it, you would actually pull up to 75 watts from the riser. And if you put 2 cards on that single SATA connector, you're not pulling 150 watts from the SATA connection. It's rated at like 75 in total. So you don't want to do that. And you'll end up burning up your power supply. So you have to plan your power configure if you're using normal power supplies around what your requirement's going to be and what kind of power draw you are. So we're going to use the 1000 watt PSU to power the 6-pin risers plus 1 card because of the way we have our power config. And then the 1200 watts powering the motherboard and 6 of the cards from the 12 volt dual 8 pins. So we'll have a good split load across both power supplies. And we can actually measure each power supply, through our meter over here and understand like what our total power setup is. Somebody says, I need a link for that tester. That's a custom tester made by Richie P85, but we do have the specifications of it. right here, my dudes. This is like show and tell today. So there's like a big stain on this one. So this is the kind of setup config, and you guys can't see this right now, I don't think. I need like a third zoom that goes way closer. Let's just make this one bigger. Make it really zoomed. Let's keep going. You guys can see my messy storeroom again. This is the advantage of very high quality 4K cameras with very high quality display inputs. Is even zoomed in, it looks great. So this is kind of the config. I don't know why this thing got all dirty. Of the way it's set up, and then this is the innards of that build out. So you can see the display down here, the switching over here, and then essentially the setup for all the 8 pins. Why not use Molex instead of SATA? Molex isn't much better, my dude. We thought about trying to talk to Richie about blueprinting this design and getting this sent up to get, you know, like a like actually built out. You know, I think there's some real opportunity to make these and like get them blueprinted. I think there would be a lot of people that would buy them actually. I mean, everybody in the chat, if we made one of these available to where you guys could buy at a reasonable price, I have no idea what the price would be. Give a 1 in chat if you guys would, if we took the effort to send this off and get a limited run of them, would you guys buy it? And I'm saying trying to keep them like under $100. You know, I mean, I don't even know what the price would be. I mean, I doubt it would be like $30. I think it would be a little more, but I can't imagine it being too bad. Papers are showing backwards. Interesting. Am I mirroring? Shouldn't be mirroring. Getting lots of 1s in there. All right, I'm gonna hold you guys to it if I build one. I'm gonna be like, I swear, I'm gonna go back to this chat. I'll be like, Mike the Miner said he was gonna buy one. Jacob said he was gonna buy one. Internet never lies. I keep going to screen. There we go. All right, I think that's you know, 8, 10, 12. Crypto Jason's like, I already got one, bro. I don't need one. You always have one statistic out there. Throw out that too. Sweet, my dudes. All right. So I was a little unprepared for this build. I'm missing a few components I need. But you know what that means? That means I get to do this again with you guys. We're a little over an hour. We'll wrap this one up. I got at least a plan now. I don't know if we could do it tomorrow, but we can definitely do it Thursday. NVIDIA's bringing one out for $4,000. No, my dudes. Don't buy that one. Chat is lost is big. I agree, bro. So just some quick specs for anybody that's like wanting to know what this would do. You're looking at 42 mega hash, probably 366 mega hash for this rig. Total wattage, if we optimize it well to the walls, probably right underneath 1,000 watts. Whole build cost right around $7,000. It's about $6,200 for the cards. About $800 for all the rest of this. And then, you know, ROI on that's about 410 days or so right now at about $15 to $17 a day if you're mining Ethereum through Polygon payouts. To give you guys an idea of what, you know, cost would be right now with relative Now again, based on yield, based on you holding, and based on like if Ethereum closes to doubles in price, that's $30 a day, and that's the mentality, long term. If you build something like this and you're trying to ROI it, and you're just dumping it as fast as you get it, you're missing out the opportunity cost of gains and when to do it when it makes more sense. So a build like this probably realistically would be within a year, as long as we had some uptick on a bull market. And that's on a 6700. And that's you being whole on a machine like this and then owning all the cards outright. Past does not guarantee future gains. This is not financial advice. It's just observe and report of a build like this. If you could get these cards at original retail prices at that $4.99, it would be a lot better. But right now, $8.99 is about the price point on these things. But yeah, we're going to get this thing built and deployed, but we're going to do that online once I have the right parts in, which I'll have the right parts in tomorrow. MC says taking deposits. This one's going to get deployed to the farm. However, we are going to, we do have quite a bit over at Crypto World. I know we have some 8 gig 470s. They get 32 mega hash each. They are phenomenal cards, 70 watts. So you guys look at Twitter. I had a build. I actually have one right over here that's about to get finished up on the build. Bring it over here for you guys can see it. Rip, Mike. Got it. I got it. So we got that set up there, power supply. So this is the RX 470, 8 gigs. Now these cards at Crypto World, we have just under $300, or right at $300, I think, a piece. So a lot cheaper. And as pricing gets adjusted, they may come down. $275 for 30 mega hash. Or again, 70. I want to say the last tweet I had, we had tweaked it down to 31 mega hash at 72 watts. The whole, like a whole 8 card rig was 943 watts for 240 mega hash. So they're about half as efficient, a little under half as efficient as like a 6600 XT as an example. So, and they're cheaper. So you're going to pay a little more power on a 478 gig, but you're still going to get 30 mega hash. So you can think of them like a 3070, or sorry, a 6600 XT that you're going to pay about $150 less for. So not too bad. And we have about 1,000 of those that we're dropping at Crypto World as we're switching out our farm. We just don't have the space and capacity to run everything. So that's why we're moving out of the 478 gigs. So you guys will see some of those out there. And I think we took over some 3080s non-LHRs over there too this past day, because we're kind of streamlining our whole build. But I wanted to try some of the 6700s. I'm looking at you guys. So Matador says you can get about 46 mega hash out of those 6700s. We'll see. I know that there's some more power tools stuff that you can do to try to increase the total TDP on these and get a little more out of them. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get up to 47 mega hash out of them. Mentioned a store opening in St. Louis. We're already open. So Crypto World is open. It's out in Manchester. We're opening another one in Edwardsville, Illinois. And hopefully by March, that store will be opening. And then there is a handful of other stores across the country that we are looking at franchising right now. That's what I was down in Dallas last week for, is working with folks that wanted to open up stores across the country. So if we do things right, this is why you guys barely see me on live streams these days, is we're going to expand Crypto World out, hopefully this year, to 10 to 12 locations across the country. And then those will be the center point hubs for crypto discussions, at least in the cities. So then you'll have meetups. There's Tuesday morning coffee and crypto. There's Thursday night Bitcoin and beers at Crypto Worlds. And then we'll also have hardware in there. And then some of the ancillary stuff, that what I'm trying to do from a sourcing standpoint is make sure that's a place that you guys could go in your city and have access to, you know, risers on demand, have, you know, if you're wanting to try some of the expanders out, other types of mining hardware when it comes to like smaller immersion kits, you know, just a retail store that has the mining specific support stuff, thermal pads, Arctic Silver, stuff that some of this stuff would be at Micro Center, but it's mainly mining centric when it comes to GPU mining and ASIC mining there. And then of course there'll be education sessions there for folks that are trying to learn more. There's a Bitcoin and beer this Thursday that is actually going to have a live stream also off of Crypto World site. We'll make sure that we're sharing that out. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter. If you guys want to see that, they're going to have some panel people there covering just some history and background on their stuff. But there's always something going on over at Crypto World if you guys are in the St. Louis area. I'm sorry, did I say Manchester? Yeah, it's in St. Charles. Right now in the store we have there's a whole bunch of swag in the store, and like if you're looking for shirts and stuff like that, and we have some mining equipment. We took over there about 150 GPUs yesterday. We took over like 4 or 5 motherboard full kits. We took over 4 or 5 power supplies, couple cases, and like 4 3080 LHRs, non-LHRs over there to source in the store. And then they have some L3 pluses, and they have a handful of S19s in the store for sale. Nice, MC. Cool, my dudes. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. It was a fully non-successful build, but at least got it kind of set up and staged for the build. We'll come back to this once my other parts come in, and we'll get the rest of this build configured. So it'll be the rest of the build, since it's pretty much there. We just need to add the cards and the risers. And then you guys will get notified when we go live with that. We'll do the build. We'll do the testing on it. And then, yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one, my dudes. My keyboard here.